This video is to help you understand how to organize and write your observation paper when you are finished with your 15 hours of observation. You use that Ecker's book to evaluate your program and take notes, and that's going to be the focus of this paper, and those notes that you took are going to guide the information that you're going to reflect on within your paper. And so here's the expectations of the observation paper. In the introduction, I want you to provide a brief description of where you did your observation, include how many children and teachers were in the program, and then just briefly discuss the daily schedule and the overall philosophy and curriculum model that the program followed. So this will be your first paragraph in the introduction. So this is the content that I want you to put in that first introductory paragraph. As you move on to the second paragraph, the second section of your paper, you can even title it Space and Furnishings. So go ahead and type that header within that section of your paper, and then when you go to type that information, these are the points that I want addressed within that Space and Furnishings section. You're going to discuss the overall rating of that section. So you rated it as a 1 through 7 within your rating scale in your Ecker's book or information, and so you're going to list that. You're going to put, the Space and Furnishing section was rated a 5.2 or whatever. So write what you rated it and then give justification as to why you rated it within the rest of your paper. So you're going to give some specific examples to support your rating. Why do these examples reflect a developmentally appropriate learning environment? Or if the rating was poor, why do those examples, why did you rate it poorly? Why didn't you see developmentally appropriate practices? What was going on that didn't reflect developmentally appropriate practice? And then cite any research from our coursework that you've learned about to help support your reflections. Make sure that, again, you're using specific examples from the observation to show me evidence of your rating. So if you're rating it a 7, which is a perfect score, then you need to show me examples of why it was such a high quality environment, and give me some examples of how that reflects that score of a 7. In the next section of your paper, it's going to be personal care routines. Again, you can type that header, personal care routines, and then you're going to go ahead and just go through these bullet points, much like the Space and Furnishing section. Give me your rating, and then provide specific examples from your observation to support that rating, telling me that you understand what a high quality early childhood environment looks like based on what you're seeing in your observation. Next section, again, we're going to go to language and reasoning. Go ahead and type language and reasoning as a header for that section. Again, you're going to discuss that overall rating in your opening sentence, and then you're going to use justification to support that rating. Again, within this, I want to see some specific examples of language in the classroom. So I want to see some conversations of children using language. I want to see conversations of between children and teachers. I want to see examples of language that's showing their reasoning ability. So again, use specific examples from your observation to show that you understand what high quality early childhood care looks like when it comes to language and reasoning. The next section is activities. Again, you're going to discuss your rating in the opening sentence. You're going to use that header, type in the word activities as your header, and then in the next section you're going to talk about the activities that you saw in your observation. One thing that's very important is that I want you to discuss each learning center. So go through the different learning centers: dramatic, play, construction, art, reading, science, math, whatever interest centers you saw within your observation. You need to list them, and then you need to give some examples of activities that you saw, and then talk about how those activities are reflecting a developmentally appropriate learning environment. So again, if you're talking about them engaged in activities in dramatic play, talk about the significance of that when it comes to developmentally appropriate practices. When you're giving examples of them engaged in an art activity, talk about how that's helping them developmentally. What are the implications? What skills are the students gaining through those activities? This section is going to show me that you really understand how the different experiences that the children are having in the classroom help to support their overall development. And then also, if those activities are reflecting the developmentally appropriate practices that we talked about in the course. Next section is interactions. Again, open with your overall rating, and then you're going to give specific examples to support that rating. I want to see specific conversations and language teachers are using with children to show examples of positive interactions. I also want to see specific conversations and language the children are using with one another to demonstrate positive interactions. Again, why is this reflecting developmentally appropriate practices? That's kind of going back to everything. Why is this? Why are these examples of high quality early childhood education? That's what we want. That's what I want to see. I want to see that you understand that. I want to see that you understand what high quality early childhood education looks like. And as you evaluate this program, you're going to determine, is it a good program? Is it an okay program? Is it a high quality program? And then you're going to talk about those different ratings within your paper and then provide evidence of that to show me that you understand what that looks like. Moving on to the next section is program structure. You're going to open with your rating again. In this section, I want you to include the daily routine of the program. So again, if that's not posted on the classroom wall somewhere that you've copied, make sure that you pay attention or ask someone what the schedule is so that you can provide that in your paper. And then I want you to provide some specific examples, again, to support your rating. Again, do these examples reflect developmentally appropriate practices? And then cite any research from our course that you might want to put to apply that, again, helps to support your explanation and reflection of that section. Parents and staff is our next section. Again, same type of thing. Parents and staff is going to be one section that's going to be a little bit more challenging because of the limited interaction with parents. You're not really going to be seeing much interaction of teacher and parents and children and parents. You might see some, but a lot of the indicators and the standards that you're evaluating in this section are going to be outside of your realm of observation. Some of the things have to do with staff things that you're not going to be able to observe. So again, just do your best evaluating the indicators in this section and then reflect on that information that you are able to observe. If there's some things that you're not able to observe within this section, just put like an NA, not applicable, next to it, and then just rate those things that you were able to observe and then discuss that within the section. Finally, you have to conclude your paper, and within that conclusion there are some key things I'm going to be looking for. If you were to click into the grading rubric for this assignment or look at the grading rubric on your syllabus, you're going to see what I'm looking for, and there are 3 different things that I'm looking specifically for in your conclusion, and so that's why I want you to make sure that you follow these guidelines to the T so that you can make sure that you are getting that key information in there so I can see your understanding of the course content. So in your conclusion, the first paragraph is going to be your opinion of the overall strengths and weaknesses of the program. Include your suggestions for improvement if necessary. Again, if you're observing a program that you didn't feel reflected high quality standards, then you need to talk about that. This is what I saw. This is what I should have been seeing. This is what I think they should be doing to help improve that or work towards quality. So again, I need to see that you have an understanding of that and put that in your paragraph 1. Paragraph 2, this is going to include your understanding of the benefits of using the ECEs and then what you learned about the process. So again, talk about what did you learn about using that ECEs tool? What are the benefits of using it? What are the implications of being able to use that? If programs are using that to assess their classrooms, what can they use that information for? Why is it important? Why is it necessary? So talk about that within paragraph 2. And then your final paragraph of your conclusion is just about overall assessment, observation, and documentation. So how does using assessment, observations, and documentation help to inform decisions about programs for young children? And then think about the information we learned in class about these key terms, assessment, documentation, observation, and then provide some application and support about that to show me that you really understand the importance of assessment, observation, and documentation. So that's the information that I need for that observation paper. It is going to be a lengthy paper, so make sure that you do spend ample time organizing and writing this paper. If you have any questions about anything, let me know. Thanks so much, guys.